There's a mistake that I made when I was a student. That was many years ago, that I seldom mention. But for me, it was a shift. It brought a shift to my life. There was a new government in the country, and they were trying to recalibrate the economy and introduced a new currency. They changed the currency of the country and introduced new notes, produced them outside of my country, and flew them in. Then they said everybody that had cash had to deposit the cash in the banks. You could only change the money at the banks. So you deposited your money, then the bank paid you back your money in new notes. I had a bank account, and I had this fellow student, my friend, who did not have a bank account. Then he said, oh, since you have a bank account, please let me put my money in your account. And I said, fine. I kept the money for him. And that was a period when things were so hard for our family. My parents weren't sending me any pocket money. I ran out of money. I ran out of cash completely. I had tried to stretch the little that I had. For a meal, sometimes I'll just have a pack of biscuits and a bottle of Coke. And then at a point, I loaned out of the money with the hope that when eventually I got some pocket money, I would replace the money. So I tried, paid some, but just could not make it up, and now school had come to an end. It was painful for me. It was painful for me. What did it do to me? Looking back, maybe because I had been brought up with some good values, I felt bad. I felt really bad. You know, that I broke trust and made some deep resolves about money, about handling other people's monies, and so on, that have stayed with me till today. Somebody else's money is not my own money. I would rather go to bed hungry, than take somebody's money. But I like it. I like the result that came from it. It helped to shape my values, ultimately shaping my character. And that's the point that I want to emphasize. One of the benefits of failure is that it shapes your values and your character. Yeah. Failure gives you resilience. It gives you resilience. It gives you grit. It gives you the capacity to weather storms. When you've dealt with tough situations and you came through them, that prepares you for the future. Some people can't handle hardship. Success doesn't give you that. If each time you try, everything works perfectly the first time you try it, how do you develop the capacity to cope with failure? You don't. And you find out when somebody's life trajectory is like that they find everything easy, everything works smooth and well. The day something goes wrong, they're completely flustered. They are at a loss as to what to do. And they usually exaggerate, amplify the impact of their problems. And to them, the whole world is about to come to an end. You know what? I've been through tough times. And sometimes when I go through tough times now, it's like, so what? It's going to change. It's not the end of the world. Because I've seen tougher times. Okay? So, failure also does that to us. Gives us experience. And then we realize certain situations, circumstances are not the end of the world. What would get some other person discouraged or depressed would not get us discouraged or depressed simply because we've been through something similar before and the world did not collapse. So we have increased capacity for coping, increased capacity for handling adversity. I hardly get fazed, Some people are torn apart when they don't have money. Well, I've been through situations where I did not have money. I did not have money. I've been through, and the world did not come to an end. I did not die. So, so now sometimes I have a lot of money. Some other times I have very little money. It doesn't make much difference to me. It does not determine my joy, my happiness, or my state of mind. No, that is my choice. But having stories that I can recount over and over and over about how tough times came and how I survived them, that keeps me going. In the difficult times, that keeps me going. So I'm saying that failure shapes your values. Sometimes you suffer punishment, for failing, or you experience some consequences for failing that drive something deep in your heart that will ensure you never even move near the condition that took you to the place of punishment. Yeah? Perhaps someone is listening to this in jail. I'd like to encourage you and let you know your mistake is not the end of the world. And rather than sit down and lament every day to the point of being bitter, I would suggest to you, that you try to find out what there is to discover about what happened to you. What did you do right? What did you do wrong? And learn from it. The likelihood is that tomorrow somebody will come hear you speak about how you dealt with your own issues, with your own scenario. So in all this is failure. The potential for failure is there. What should we do? Don't breed fear. Don't entertain fear. I love the word entertain because you know what it also means. That you have a guest and then you are taking care of the guest and giving the guest food to eat and drinks to have. Yeah, when you entertain thoughts of fear, that's what you do. You feed the fear. You celebrate the fear. You pamper the fear. You can drive that fear out of your heart just by increasing your experience, increasing your experiences. So, failure helps you to build your values and helps you to build your character. I must emphasize the fact that success has the tendency to affect your hunger, your desire. Success doesn't usually give you a lot of flexibility, but failure does. Failure works exactly in the opposite direction. So why is it that we run away from failure then? Why don't we have many more people leveraging their failures to speak to other people? We need to realize that whatever it is we have gone through, there are thousands, probably billions or millions of people that are in a similar scenario. and they just need help. They need someone to explain to them. So our failures can have value if we will use them to teach other people. That multiplies the value of the failure. Very important. Yep. The knowledge that you learn, you want to pass it on to other people. That multiplies your influence as a leader, not only in your industry, but in the community. So be willing to share your experiences with others, especially younger ones. Be willing to share your experiences with others because those experiences are invaluable. You'll be saving many people from mistakes, some of them costly, Share the knowledge that you get from experimenting and trying. Share knowledge of the values that you claim and gain through the experience of failure. When you share them, I promise you they will have impact on people's lives because you'll be dealing with knowledge that is practical, that was gotten while taking action. Now, let me encourage, and I believe that this is also important, that failure increases the value of our mentorship. So everyone needs to have a goal of being a mentor, of reproducing himself and herself. And if you're going to do that, you have to be willing to see good in people and to train them. See good in people and train them. And I promise you, as a public speaker, I can teach principles and people will be looking at me. Once I say, I remember when I had this particular experience, it's like people's ears stand up. My failures have earned me the right to be heard. And you don't do that. You don't do that without being deliberate, without being intentional. Just so that each person can have enough experience to share and to pass down on. There is value, mentoring value in your experiences. I think most of us underestimate the amount of knowledge at our disposals because we see our level of skill as normal, but it is not. I want to tell you, whatever it is you're doing, and you're doing it very well with a high level of skill, it's something that you learned from someone, and you gained quite a bit of it from experience, and you need to commit to train and to help other people too. Tell your stories. Okay? Tell your stories. The stories don't have to be burnished. The stories don't have to be photoshopped, No, just be authentic. Just be real. That's where the inspiration actually is. So failure gives you what to say. Failure brings you to the place of mentorship. However low you may have gone, or you may be, there is somebody somewhere that doesn't have what you have in terms of knowledge. Seek them out and add value to somebody's life. That way, the things you have experienced in life will not go to waste. The pressures you have experienced in life will not go to waste because you see failure as having an important role to play in your success.